What is Fulbright is the first question that comes up. Usually it's a fully paid, fully funded scholarship to get a graduate or a postgraduate degree from the US. And by fully paid, we mean that they pay for your airfare, they pay for your living, your stipends are paid, your insurance is covered, everything is covered. Importance wise, I mean, if you go to somebody and you tell them that I'm a Fulbright scholar, they don't even bother asking you which university you went to. So the scholarship in itself is one of the oldest and one of the most prestigious. It's a global program. Pakistan happens to have the largest Fulbright program right now in the world. We send out around 150 to 200 scholars every year. So we do have the largest program, and the program in itself is highly esteemed. The applications come in around March of each year, and you have to submit them around May or June. The deadlines occasionally differ due to the political circumstances in the country. Occasionally they've extended deadlines in the past. So you get the application around March and you have to submit it in June, but the application doesn't really change over the years. So what you can do is you can start preparing your application earlier. The application consists of a few major parts. One of them is the study objective. The other one is your personal statement. The third part is recommendations. There's an entire application booklet that you have to fill. Then you have your GRE score, and if you clear the interviews, you have your TOEFL score. If you make it to the interview round, you have your TOEFL score. So these are like the 4 or 5 major parts of the Fulbright scholarship. We'll go over each one in detail. When you're talking about the personal statement, a lot of times what students think is that they need a story of motivation, or they need a story of overcoming odds that were unsurmountable. I mean, you're talking of people who are coming from a very underprivileged background, and oh, I've scaled these many mountains in my past and all of that. What I discovered in my personal experience, and obviously it's not really something that I can generalize, but it is something that I can say for myself, that you don't really need a motivational story in essence. What Fulbright really wants to do is to get to know you. So my personal statement literally started off with the words that I don't have a story of insurmountable odds to tell you, because I was born in a good family. I was born in a upper middle income class family. I've never had to want for anything in life. I've always had the best education and so on and so forth. So my personal statement outright stated it, and I was not docked for it in any way. I did not suffer any consequences for not having a story. The personal statement is just supposed to show the interviewers, to show the selection committee what you are and where you've come from. So my entire personal statement revolved around teaching. Why? Because I've been teaching for the last 10-12 years. I started giving tuitions when I was in class 7, I think. So teaching is a big part of what I've been doing in life. My entire personal statement talked about teaching and studying. It did not mention any extracurriculars. It did not mention anything like I came from a very poor family and I had to study under the street lights and anything like that. It doesn't do that. And Fulbright doesn't care. All Fulbright cares about is that who are you and what really motivates you, or what do you want to do in life, or why are you here in life, why are you at the position you're at. So when you're looking at the personal statement, it's like a 600 to 800 word long statement, and all you're really wanting to communicate is that this is who I am, and this is what I do, this is what I want to do, these are my aims and ambitions, and so on and so forth. So there's no real set pattern in what a personal statement should entail, except there should be something which reflects who you are, because they will definitely compare your personal statement to your interview. If what you write in your personal statement about yourself does not reflect in your interview, they will most probably reject you. And there's an entire interview panel, so you're not going to get away with it. So what you need to consider when you're writing a personal statement is that you need to be honest about it, and you don't need to come up with a story if you don't have one. You need to state the truth. Who are you and where are you from, basically. Where are you from, not just demographically, but what you've been through in life and what has made you into the person you are today. That's your personal statement. Takes a lot of editing. The first time I wrote it, it was fairly rubbish and crap. What you want to do ideally is to write it in a way that you can give it to a friend to edit, and they will tell you, okay, this is what you've done wrong, this is what you can improve. You'll get that back, that's your first iteration, then you'll send it to another friend, and then another friend, and so on and so forth. So looking at 6 to 7 iterations before you come up with a final product that is actually presentable and has a good chance of getting you selected. The second part is the study objective. Now again, in the study objective there is a huge confusion among people, and that confusion is something like, I need to tell them I want to do something for society. I need to have a social objective. I need to tell them I'll start an NGO. I need to tell them I'll come back to teach. That is not true. You can have a completely monetary study objective and they don't care. So if you want to, let's say, study marketing abroad, and you say that the domain of marketing in Pakistan is a little backward, you still see those fairness cream ads, you still see very little brand work in there. There's no concept of brand personality, there's no concept of the brand having a message, and so on and so forth. And I want to study marketing from abroad, and I want to come back and work for Procter and Gamble, and I want to work for Unilever, and I want to change this in Pakistan. That is a perfectly valid study objective. You don't need to have a story like, I will open an NGO and I will teach poor people, or I will open an NGO and I'll feed the poor people. A lot of people make that mistake. I check these things on a daily basis for people, and this is a trend that I've noticed, that people want to portray themselves as some sort of an AD, I guess, or the next AD. So you really don't need to do that. What you do need to do is have a very clear study objective. You need to know why you are studying what you are studying and what you'll do with it. So a lot of fields in Pakistan, they have no scope, and the Fulbrighters who come back do struggle, but they were clear on their study objective. They knew that this was a field where they would have to struggle. If somebody has gone and studied environmental sciences, for example, we know that there's not much scope in Pakistan, but their study objective reflects the fact that they know it, and they're willing to do something about increasing that scope, if nothing else. So when you're looking at a study objective, you need to be clear about it. But you don't need to have a story about it in the sense of a social objective. My study objective personally was that I want to come back and I want to teach. But that's because I do teach, and I am teaching right now, and I enjoy it. So it was a true statement. If you put out these statements and you don't really mean them, Fulbright will catch you in the interview. And they will figure it out. They'll look at your background, they'll go like, no, this seems like a lie. And your chances of being rejected just went up. So for the study objective, the important part again is to be honest with what you want to do when you come back. Again, a 600 to 800 word limit. You really want to have time to run through iterations with your friends and so on and so forth. All of that stuff is there. I mean, you should start working on your application around January if you want to turn in a good application in May. So all of that is there. But the one point where I see a lot of people failing is this, that they want to have a social objective. It's not necessary, and Fulbright doesn't care if you have a social objective or not.